Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to AI and Coffee. I'm Luke Ryan, and today we're going to exploring how AI is transforming education. AI offers amazing potential for personalized learning and efficiency, but it also brings challenges like equity, privacy, and maintaining the human touch. We'll discuss the latest developments and real-world examples and share how educators can harness AI's power and responsibility. Grab your coffee and join me and Bob as we dive into the world of AI in education.
How are you, Luke? It's good to see you. I'm excited about this conversation today.
Absolutely. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep. As you and I are both involved in education as regarding to clients and our own interest, so I'm excited to dive into that. We've got, I think, some news clips around education first, don't we?
we do. I'm going to pull those right up for us.
Okay, so this first one is from a CNBC article that came out in the last several days, and it's talking about a recent poll that shows that nearly half of U.S. teachers and K through 12 students use ChatGPT weekly, which I guess didn't surprise me, but on another level, it really shows how fast this technology is catching on. So 4,000, a little over 4,000, I think it was like 4,007 teachers, parents, and students in the US were polled. And the poll was conducted by Impact Research for the Walton Family Foundation. And so the current numbers show a significant increase in AI usage, Luke, in education compared to just 1 year ago. So, for instance, the percentage of K through 12 students who say they're familiar with ChatGPT rose 37% to 75%. And the percentage who say they use it weekly rose from 27% to 48%. That's just in 1 year. And there's also a similar increase amongst teachers. So favorability toward chatbots has grown with 88% of students. Again, this is favorability, looking at it from a favorable standpoint. So 88% of students, not surprising, but 75% of parents and 67% of teachers reporting positive sentiment. So we've gone beyond the 50%. We've gone to the majority. And that is just stunning that this technology, which a year ago you would have had people scratching their head going, I don't know, that feels like cheating. That's not human. The arguments that we always hear now has gone beyond into the majority being favorable. But obviously, there's still concerns that AI may be used for cheating, but overall, the results are positive. And I think what we're seeing here and what we want to talk about today is that AI is seen as a tool that can save teachers time and personalize education for the students. So I think that's a pretty remarkable article and a really interesting poll.
I actually didn't know it was that high. Yep. From talking to a lot of educators, they uh, will have the same reservations that I had, early on with some of the conversations. But there's some that are definitely. I think it's more the who's using the tools regularly, and then seeing how that impact is helping themselves and helping them learn new topics, and then also if they're using it in their families as well too. Then you really start seeing that impact.
Absolutely. And I think, too, as we're going to talk about today and hopefully help in our own small way, I think teachers are favorable, and I think the public is favorable, but there's not a lot of guidance and direction just yet on, okay, how do I bring this into the classroom? How do I use it daily? And how do I get better outcomes with my education and my students?
Well, that's a big part of it is, where is the information coming from? Is it coming directly from the companies that are trying to help you with these tools, or is it coming from like an unbiased source that's agnostic to all the tools that are out there and helping educators be educated on these topics? It's fascinating. I think
Yeah.
there's actually a gentleman, Sal Khan, that you know quite well in Conmigo that's doing a great job in this space.
Absolutely, yeah. He's been a forerunner in many areas, but he's jumped on and started using artificial intelligence tools now for over a year with Conmigo. As a matter of fact, I think you're going to give us a little AI and education presentation here.
Absolutely. So this actually comes from a presentation that I did for ACEs. I met them through my work, and they asked me, "Hey, you know a lot about artificial intelligence. Would be able to come in and talk to our team. We have regular lunch and learns once a month with all the educators, and ACEs is magnet and charter schools for Connecticut. And what they do is in this case, they invite different speakers in, and I was able to talk on AI in education, which was a fascinating discussion with a lot of the administrators there. So I took a few slides here. Let me just advance here. And I always start with this quote. I just think it's just a really powerful and profound quote that says that AI is one of the most profound things we're working on as humanity. It's more profound than fire and electricity. It just kind of shows the global impact of what this technology is going to do for all of us. And from there, we transitioned to Sal Khan. I see AI as an additional tool, but a powerful. And Conmigo, I'm personally subscribed to it. It's a way to basically have custom AI's tutors, and they're going to be able to teach you, but without giving you the answers. So it's more of a Socratic style of learning. And what we're able to do here is, you put in what you're working on. There's different paths that you can take that you can basically have that AI help you learn certain topics. And there's more and more being developed as they launch these different tools that Khan Academy is able to plug into. Like they just did that rollout with ChatGPT 4.0 and that video that went fairly viral with Sal Khan's son. That was really interesting. And then we also saw the Microsoft partnership with Conmigo as well. So there's a lot to that's going to be rolling out very soon, and I'm definitely excited for it for a father of three.
Do your kids use Conmigo?
I've used it with my oldest. Yeah, I'm about to start using it with my daughter as well too. She's also used ChatGPT for storytelling. So basically creating original stories and having the AI kind of help coach her along the way without giving her the what's going to happen next in the story, but more like questions that might elicit ways for her to kind of think about the story arc or the different characters and that type of thing, and then she draws the stories. So I give a little bit of a prepper to ChatGPT to not give the story to her, but to kind of be a coach for her.
Yeah, that's great.
And also, there's another piece to this, which is that AI is equivalent to having an expert with you at any field at all times. So being able to have that AI right next to you that's able to be, the most qualified expert in a certain topic, and then be able to then quickly transition over to another topic, and then be able to have it be a business coach, life coach, whatever it might be, teacher's aide. It's able to do so many different things for you. And really the big part of that is, having jumped in, labbed yourself, being able to try different things out. That's a really big part of this is that you have to be, hands-on, and you can't just read about it. And, I think it's important, of course, educate yourself, but you really got to be playing with the tools regularly to see how quickly they evolve.
Yeah, I love the fact that from an education standpoint, some of these tools really do function as an expert, and not just a tutor, but an expert tutor in science, in history, in writing. It's really amazing, and what our kids have access to and will have access to in years to come. I'm really excited about the field of education.
And then there was also a big article here that came out in Time. It was the Artificial Intelligence and New Age of Possibilities special issue. And it talks about, the tidal wave that's coming. And there was a couple great quotes here. Says the majority of teachers are panicked because they see ChatGPT as a cheating tool, which we just talked about, and a tool to plagiarize. But then a couple of the quotes that I thought were interesting as I read through the article were what I feel that I don't have to do any longer is cover all the content. Many of them are
Mm.
just using it to do the work because they're bored, they're not engaged, they don't care, and we have to own up to that. And then lastly is ChatGPT is to English as to writing, and to writing like the calculator is to math.
Mm.
So there was a lot in there, but I thought that was pretty profound as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's just a few extra tools that I'll, of course, be able to put in the chat here with the deck here. But Stepwise I thought was pretty interesting as a educational platform that offers virtual tutors to help students with math. We're going to demo a different one that you have pulled up here. But also, I thought this was a great guide as well, too, by Microsoft. So this is Copilot for Educators. And each one of these has a link as well, too, if anyone would like to learn more and do a little bit of a deep dive. And then this was a educational prompts, so guide for educators by educators, and it's a teacher's prompt guide to ChatGPT, which would be
Really
useful
helpful.
for pretty much any large LLM out there.
Yeah, I would encourage teachers, if you're just playing around with it and a little nervous, want to figure out what it's out about, check out something like this. This is a great tool that'll actually give you some ways to ask ChatGPT and to prompt get the results. Because as you know, Luke, it's all about the better questions you ask, the better results you get.
Well, jumping into that, how does someone start with prompting?
I think for the most part, people just need to uh, be more succinct and specific with your questions. I talk to a lot of people, Luke, and they say, "Oh, I've played with ChatGPT, and I haven't been impressed with what it gives."
Mm-hmm.
And I always ask them, "Well, what did you try to get out of it?" And they say, "Well, I asked it to give me this, and it just gave me something." And um, you know, these large language models are in a very, very simple explanation, and we're not going to get into how these language models and transformers and all the programming behind it. But think of it as a very, very, very sophisticated autocomplete. We all seen autocomplete. We've all seen spell check. And what it does is it takes what a lot of information and saying, well, we've seen similar sentences before, and this is how you might want to fix or complete this sentence or change your grammar slightly. Well, think of artificial intelligence when it comes to language models is very similar, but a lot more sophisticated. It's trained on trillions of pieces of information, and it's trying to auto-complete what you want to get as a result. So, in that context, the more specific, the more detailed, the more nuanced you are with your questions, the better type of questions or answers you're going to get back. So, for instance, when it comes to education, it's not just what were President Abraham Lincoln's best achievements. Okay, now that might give you something pretty good. The questions need to be, what were Abraham Lincoln's achievements in regard to the socioeconomic status of America at a very specific time, pre and post Civil War? Um, where I'm going with it is the more detailed you get, the better answers you're going to get. So that's just a quick little lesson around around prompting.
There's a great acronym that's used in like the effective like prompt engineering world, where it's basically presenting like act as a certain individual, expert in the XYZ field. Here's your mission or what we'd like you to have as the output, and I'd like to have it in this format. That was like one of the early ways that I learned how to prompt more effectively, and I've been using that pretty much ever since. I know there's a lot of different theories on this, but I think that that's a really strong way to kind of, give it a role, because otherwise it's very general. And then as you're in that role, I need this accomplished, and here's how I need it accomplished. It's like delegating any responsibility in like a business setting too, or even talking to family or children or whatever it might be. It's like, oh, clean your room. Well, I'm a young kid. I don't know exactly how to clean my room. Well,
Right.
do this exactly and this exactly, and then you'll know, moving forward how to do that.
Yeah, and how fun is for kids and the future of education to be able to talk to these historical figures.
Mm-hmm.
That's fascinating. You can actually talk to Abraham Lincoln. We have to be a little bit careful as educators because not all historical figures or existing, maybe even living figures, have a lot of data that AI is trained on. But in the case of Abraham Lincoln, we have pretty much everything that was ever said, written about him, etc. So, in your example, pretend you are Abraham Lincoln. How would you answer this question? Or pretend you're Abraham Lincoln, and I'm going to ask you a set of questions, and that's really fun to see what kind of information you get out.
I had a fun experience fairly recently where I was invited into my son's classroom and I talked about AI, and I was basically just talking to the kids in a a way where I think that they could understand it well. I was like, basically, hey, Green Lantern, he's a great superhero. He's able to, and or he or she, because there's a lot of lanterns out there. They have this ring and they can create anything with that ring. And I think that really resonated with them of just all the different things you can create with AI, and they just were super dialed in.
That's great, great example.
So I've got one last one here on the share side, and that's basically just some videos that I think would be really helpful most anybody to dive into this. I think Cold Fusion's a great channel. They did a few different videos in a series all around AI and its evolution, as well as there's a Forbes generative AI is about to change everything, and then also the Center for Humane Technology, the AI Dilemma. AI Dilemma is by the same folks that did the Social Dilemma, so this is actually, if you're someone that is definitely has some concerns, this is going to help you understand even further what those concerns are that we all are going to have here together. And then I'll go back to yours because we want to do a demo here.
Yeah. So this is a tool that real easy to use. It's called TurboLearn.ai. TurboLearn.ai, and what it does is you can go to TurboLearn and create an account. They have a free version, which we have here. You get more features, obviously, on the paid version, but it's a real simple way for you to upload audio. If you're a student, let's say you've recorded a lecture at any age, this is good for any type of content, whether you're in early elementary or you're all the way in working on your PhD, everything in between. So, not sure if you could go to the original screen that shows. Yeah, so you come to a dashboard and you say, I'm going to upload this recording, or you could even upload a YouTube video. There's a educational, or there's a YouTube video that you're like, I really like this content. I want to learn it, but it's too long. Let's say it's an hour long, or it has a lot of information. You could just put the YouTube video right there. And then there's the PDF upload, which is great. So you have a document, or maybe you're studying for some sort of certification, or if you're a student, you're studying for a test, you've got 10 pages of notes, whatever it may be, you can upload the PDF document. And then once you upload it, TurboLearn ingest it learns all the information, and then go back to our screen there right after that. There we go. It can turn it into a quiz here. So we're looking at a quiz here. Luke uploaded his presentation about AI and education, and it gives you a quiz. So, what did OpenAI's DALL-E demonstrate the power of in the creative domain? And you can choose your answer, and it will actually choose one there, Luke.
What are we going to go?
Notes
Anyway, let's go with creating original images from visual input. Oh,
generating art from the text description.
that makes
So,
more sense. Let's try
so
another.
it's great. So it's great. So it'll wait a second there on the free version. It's a little slow. What is one benefit of artificial intelligent education is highlighted in the given text. So see how smart we are again there, Luke.
What do you think? Ability to provide personalized learning experiences. That seems likely.
Seems
Ability to
logical.
generate new content like art and music. Well, that's true,
Ability
but
to automate administrative
create
tasks in
tasks.
school.
Also true. Ability to predict future technological advancements.
Hmm. I would go with the top one. Let's
I'd
see
go
what it
A.
says. We're smart. So there you go. It has a flashcards version loaded in yet. It may not have gotten there yet.
Let's look.
Oh, good. So we're going to see some flashcards here, which this is really good, especially with
Oh, very cool.
a lot of different definitions that you have to use here. So it's got all the flashcards. If you scroll, yep, if you scroll down there,
That's
Luke,
really great. Wow.
yeah, yeah, you can even you should be able to click on the left side there, integration strategy. Okay, go back to your top there.
Yep.
It should. So it's still creating them. When
Gotcha.
it fully loads in, you'll have actually a flashcard with one side, the AI impact on education, and then you can actually flip it over. But I
Dude,
thought
how
that was,
powerful is that? Like you
yeah,
have an iPad as a study buddy, and then you got your instant flashcards off of any document. That's awesome.
yeah,
I'm actually seeing a lot of this for the first time, so that's really great.
yeah, and it's a real simple, practical tool. I mean, creating flashcards and creating quizzes has been around for probably a decade online, but you had to go in and create, like, you had to write them in, right? Like,
Hmm.
here's a template for creating flashcards. Here's a template for creating quizzes. Write your question, now write your answer. The difference is all you do is just upload your notes, upload
Yeah.
your audio, wait a few minutes, and bam, it's all done for you. And I can really see this in the classroom for teachers creating this with their lesson plans, kids getting together and going, "Hey, let's use TurboLearn to create flashcards, and I'll share them with you, and let's do this together." The possibilities are endless, but this is a very simple, practical use that anyone can do if they know how to use a mouse and upload, and they have the documentation. It's real simple. And what's really cool about the audio feature is, um, let's say you're in a very, I don't know, lecture intensive environment where you're sitting there on your computer having to take notes or write them down. I don't know if anyone still does that. Um, you know, this is probably a little controversial, but all you can do is take out your iPhone, click record, um, do what you need to do during that hour, and then upload it to TurboLearn, and you've got all your notes, you've got all your flashcards, you've got all your quizzes. So I think that's a really powerful tool.
Wow. And then it also looks like you can have a chatbot interacting
Yeah,
with your exact content. So probably similar to say like Notebook LM by Google, where it's not taking anything else outside of what you gave it.
exactly, exactly.
Oh,
So
and
there's your
also
note.
look at that. It also pulls all the notes for you as well.
Yep.
Look at that. Very cool.
Yeah. So that's the free version. So have fun with that. TurboLearn.ai.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, no, I've been a big fan of Notebook LM, and I use that for some work purposes, just so that way it's not taking in information outside of the documents that I use. This is going to be a great one for team training, but also even for my kids. I think it's going to be great around certain topics. And
Yeah,
I got to try
it's
out the
really it
audio and the
really is
video as
very
well.
great for all ages for sure.
Fantastic. So I think we're getting pretty close on here time. Anything parting words here, Bob? I know this could be a absolutely extensive topic that we could spend a lot of different segments on. So if everyone loves it, one thing for sure is please follow the AN Coffee page on LinkedIn. That's going to help us out so we can go live to that page. And then outside of that, any parting words, Bob?
I would just say, I know a lot of teachers are nervous. Parents might be a little concerned, but I would say go to Conmigo, go to TurboLearn, some of these other tools that Luke has shared on his presentation there, and just start playing with it. There's no reason to be scared of it. So many of these tools can really help, and take some of the load off of you as an educator, a parent, a teacher, but also really empower your child and your students to really ratchet up, their ability to digest and to be interactive, and to learn better. So I would just encourage you just to start playing with it. Go into the shallow end of the pool, and I think you'll see that there's some real power there. How about you, Luke? Any closing thoughts for you?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just go and play. Yeah, exactly. But also be specific about what the goal is that you're looking to do with that particular session. Of course, go play around, but it's like, okay, could I use this to help me with a lesson plan? Could I use this to research a particular topic and give me more things in addition to what I already have laid out for this particular, training session? Also, how can it help you organize your world? That's a big part of it too. Like I'm constantly with those new glasses, which by the way I use pretty much every day. I was using the Meta ones, and I'm just walking around. I have them on, and I'm walking the dog, and brainstorming away, and then basically being able to search the internet live, and it's just really cool how it's able to be brought into your day-to-day life, and not isn't has to be that you have to be stuck in front of a computer and that type of thing. So we're going to be in motion, I think, with these tools around us all the time.
Absolutely. And as Luke said, go follow AI and Coffee. I know Luke, you're doing some work in the AI and education space, as am I. And so if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to us.
Excellent. Well, thanks a man. Until next time, sir. See you soon.
See ya.